Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim or Chakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Peace and blessings to the elect out there that's pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. This lesson is going to be about well, what you see right here. So-called UFOs spotted in Southaven, Mississippi. And, this is close to home, man, for brothers that are in the Memphis camp, because as you can see, or as you will see, Bridgewood Drive in Southaven, that's really close to, brothers know this that know about Memphis. This is Memphis right here. But Southaven is, which Memphis is really in 3 states, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Tennessee. But by Esau's technicalities, it's in Tennessee. But yeah, Southaven, Mississippi, in the tri-state area, I guess. And look how, another thing that I wanted to point out is look how close it is to the to the airport. It's hella close, man. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting because, and they even said that, the UFOs, which we know are chariots or clouds, and they're referred to as clouds or chariots in the scriptures, which are the vehicles of the angels. All right, and the vehicle that Yahweh Shai is going to return on, but they said that they spotted them north of where they were, which is, going through the airport, man. And I'm going to read the article, but, there's a couple videos, them explaining what they saw, and then, and actually they got it on video, which is rare. But, yeah, I'm going to play this and get into the scriptures.
What was going through your mind?
What is this? Is this, UFO? Everything went through my mind.
How long did it stay up there?
How long? About 5 minutes? Yeah, they were there for about 5 minutes.
Did you see it too?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
What did I think?
Yeah, what did it look like?
Oh gosh, they were like round and bright yellow.
Dancing.
And, one of them, the last one to leave, was a lot larger than the other 9. I counted 10 altogether, and they were going northeast, and they would change positions. They would move around,
dance,
and they would like dance and everything, and they were just gradually drifting northeast.
Yeah. Northeast, man. It's funny because, like, you would think the airport would pick up on them if they were drones or planes. So, obviously they're chariots because it is a video of them.
Here at Ingalls, we know that you're probably cooking from home a little more than usual these days. So we have
Alright, I'm going to read some of this. It says, a Southaven, Mississippi father and son believe they may have seen something from out of this world above their neighborhood late Sunday night. Alright, the video's playing now.
Are these? Those are not planes. They keep coming over the tree line. Look, they keep coming down here. Here comes some more. Whoa. Oh my goodness, dude. What are these? That is something else. There's more coming over the tree line.
Code Academy did a great job.
Alright, shut the fuck up. Yeah, when I first heard that, when when I first heard that, a brother said that, you know, there's a UFO sighting in Southaven. Immediately, that was the accent that I thought of when I heard him say that, because you got a lot of Jakes, them redneck Israelite foreigners that live down there. So these dudes could be Jakes. Yeah, it says let's see. Yeah, he said the Howells neighborhood is just a few miles from the Memphis International Airport. In fact, jets were flying above us Monday afternoon. We contacted the airport tower to see if someone could explain the lights, but have not heard back from anyone. So far, we have not been able to speak to anyone with the FAA to find out if there were any drones in the area. The Southaven Police Department told us they had not received any calls about the lights. Memphis police have not gotten back to us. The timestamp on David Howell's cell phone shows the video was captured just after 10 p.m. I can't believe nobody else got video or called and said, hey, we were seeing something. It's kind of strange, David Howell said. And yeah, the chariots, of the Bible have power to be plain to some, clear as day to some, but be invisible to everybody else. And, there's an account of that in 2 Kings 6 and 16. Yeah, this is 2 Kings 6 and I'll start at 14. It says, therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host, and they came by night and compassed the city about. So there is this, Syrian army, around the city that Elisha was in. And you can read the story if you want, just read up. In verse 15 it says, and when the servant of the man of the Most High, Yahweh, was risen early and gone forth, behold, an host compassed the city both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, alas, my master, how shall we do? So, the Syrian army was around him, and, the servant of Elisha got scared. And Elisha answered, and he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. So Elisha could see that, hey, there's chariots around him. But his servant couldn't, and neither could the Syrian army. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. So there you have it, they just appeared. The whole mountain lit up like this sky right here. They would screenshot the blurriest picture of that video. I thought that was funny, but yeah, man, they have the power to be plain to some, and be disappeared to most. But another scripture that I thought of was Zephaniah 3, and I'll start at 18. I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly, who are of thee, to whom the reproach of it was a burden. Right, because solemn assembly. We're approaching a solemn assembly right now. The time of the Passover, and he's going to gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly. Because hey, well, let me grab this. I will gather mine elect. Yeah, Matthew 24 and 31. I'll start at 30. Matthew 24 and 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of earth mourn. And what are some of the signs of heaven? Chariots. All right. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in clouds, in the clouds of heaven with great power. Clouds is another reference to so-called UFOs. Like I said earlier, they're called clouds and chariots in the scriptures. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. All right. And how are we going to be gathered? By those clouds, by those chariots, by those so-called UFOs. All right. And his elect are those that, repent and turn to the, law, statutes, and commandments of the Heavenly Father and call upon his, the Heavenly Father's true name, which is Yahweh, through his Son's true name, Yahweh Shai. So, Yahweh through his Son, Yahweh Shai. You start praying to those names and ask, and seek after the the good way of life, man. But back in Zephaniah 3 and 19, it says, Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out. And, Israel, the Israelites are referred to as, Yahweh Shai's woman. Yahweh and Yahweh Shai's woman. Because the Israelites were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And he's going to gather them from the four corners of the earth. And I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. And that's across the whole globe, right? Because Israel, for the longest time, was no more in remembrance as a people, right? The true Israelites, which consist of, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and then all the other Israelite foreigners who have been scattered amongst, other nations that have mingled with them, but their, spirit goes back to the Israelites. Those are going to be the ones that are gathered. All right, in verse 20, at that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you. So right now we're being gathered together by the ideology. We're putting off those vain philosophies and, turning from those idols. All right, Jesus, we're not worshiping Jesus anymore. That white Jesus, which is a huge lie. That's a big conspiracy. Because Yahweh Shai, his name wasn't Jesus, it was Yahweh Shai. He wasn't a so-called white man, he was a so-called dark-skinned man. Right? He was from the tribe of Judah. His feet and hands like burnt brass, and his hair white like wool. But right now we're being gathered together spiritually. We're repenting and calling upon Yahweh Bashem El Shai. But pretty soon when the destruction comes, hey, we're going to be gathered out of the destruction in those chariots. For I will make you a name and a praise among all people of the earth, when I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith the Lord. And this is a sign of us coming back to who we are.
It was blatantly obvious. I could see him.
What was going through your mind?
What is this? Is this,
So, but yeah, this is a blatant sign, man. This is a sign that, Yahweh Shai is coming back, and he's going to do it before our eyes. When I turn back your captivity before your eyes. UFO sightings are happening, like, more and more frequently. And they're going to happen more and more frequently. I'm going to grab Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. This is Wisdom of Solomon 5. I'll start at 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made it no account of his labors. Hey, and that's going on right now, man. Hey, all the conspiracies are being blown, all the whistleblowers and people that just aren't having all this bullshit that's going on in politics nowadays. You got people that, don't even know that they're Israelites, just straight up going up against the powers that be, talking like, dude, I work out at um, an Amalekite predominantly gym, all right? And, some people that I know were talking about, different conspiracies about how, so-called Jews, own banks. And they were talking about, some of the rituals that they do, like adrenochrome. This was like, a normal ass conversation in the middle of that gym. And I was like, damn, like, they're being exposed, man. These Amalekites are being exposed. Not just by Israelites, but by, people that call themselves truthers or conspiracy theories or, different groups, man. There's all types of truth coming out more and more. And the more truth comes out, hey, the more fame the Israelites are getting. Because at one point in time, hey, I mean, to this day, people are still trying to shame us and say that, we're crazy. But as more chariot sightings happen, the more fame we're really going to get. And fame isn't necessarily a good thing. But also, there's no such thing as bad publicity and from a business perspective. Like, I'll put it to you like this. Like, I mean, they can, because the more they try to shame us, the more truth is going to come out, and the more it's going to be known that we have the truth. And that's just that. I'll put it to you like that. But back in Wisdom of Solomon 5, verse 2, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. Yeah, because these church houses have been telling you that you're already saved. And that once you pass away, that's when you're in the kingdom of heaven. No, man, judgment has to come forth. Those nuclear missiles have to be shot off, and they're prophesied in the scriptures. The chariots are going to deliver the elect out of the thermonuclear destruction. And before those nukes hit, the elect have to be, people have to be saved out of that. Just like Lot was saved out of Sodom and Gomorrah when it started raining hellfire. Same as Noah was saved from the flood and his family. And the prophecy, prophecy says that thermonuclear missiles are going to drop on Babylon the Great, which is America. Hey, the elect that are here have to be saved up out of there. But yeah, I mean, and that, the strangeness of our salvation. Nobody's expecting, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans getting beamed up, and rednecks getting beamed up, because you are gonna have rednecks get beamed up, man. I don't know, I don't know this guy. I mean, he could be a Jake, he could be an Edomite, but hey, I know for sure that there's a lot of Jakes, where in his area that talk like him, dress like him, and so on and so forth. That, they could be woken up to their Israelites. They may not be, but I know for sure that you're going to have, I mean, Revelation tells you that, you're going to have Israelites from all walks of life. And that's really the mystery of the Gentiles. The Gentiles referred to in the, Acts and Romans, and, those were Israelites that were in a Gentile state of mind. You got to do your history. Go into the Maccabees. Look how the Israelites were Hellenized. Just like, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, they've been Americanized. They've been assimilated into, the American culture. But before then, they're practicing different cultures. But Revelation 7. All right, now this, I don't want to skip over this. I just want to make this point real quick. From you read 4 through 8, and you see that there are sealed 12,000 from each 12 tribes of Israel. That's the elect, right? That's 144,000 of Israel. I'll just read 4 real quick and just know that it's, I'll read 4. Revelation 7 and 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. All right, so 144,000 of Israel are going to be saved, and 12,000 from each 12 tribe, verse 5 through 8. Because only Israelites can be saved. And then verse 9, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds, and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. So, this seems contradictory, that what I just said. But really, these are Israelites that have been scattered throughout, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, And this is the 1/3 in Zechariah, which we believe to be, friends and family members of the elect, of that 144,000. This is Zechariah 13, and I'll start at 7. It says, awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, saith the Lord of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered, and I will turn mine hand upon the little ones. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. So 2/3 of Israel, they're going to die. But the 1/3, and the scriptures say that, you can't number the children of Israel. They're like the sands of the sea. I'll get that real quick after this. So if you divide, an unnumerable or an innumerable people by 3, 1/3 of them is still going to be innumerable. You can't divide infinity by 3. Shit. I'll put it to you like this. Go, if you've ever gone to, you've ever gone to, one of those concerts where it's just, like, a sea of people. There's, no way everybody paid to get in here. Some motherfuckers got in here without buying a ticket. That many people, just a sea of people. And you were like, all right, 1/3 of that, I still can't even count that many people. That's what it's like. All right. Verse 9, it says, and I will bring the 3rd part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, Yahweh, through his son Yahushai, is my power, or is my God. All right. So that's what that 1/3 is talking about. That's that great multitude which no man can number, of all nations, which they're all Israelites, just been scattered among all nations. Matter of fact, let me grab Deuteronomy to prove it, because we got to prove all things, right? I don't want no scoffers on my video saying, Gentiles. Do some fucking research. Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, talking to Israelites, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And let's see what one of those curses was. Verse 64, and the Lord Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people. Is it making sense yet? From the one end of the earth even unto the other. To one end of the earth even to the other. Where was Israel? The East? Middle East? And where's America? Oh, one end. Oh, all the way east to west. You got it. Yeah. Should make sense if you have, common sense. Look at a compass. Look at a map or something. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Yep. Because they fell away from their heritage and started worshiping other gods. But now that this truth is being declared, people are waking up to all these bullshit religions and philosophies. Yep. The elect are waking up. It's happening before our eyes, like the scriptures say. Fuck yeah, dude. Love these scriptures. Love how they're true. When you say it, you're right. Man. Hey, man. Hey, call on Yahbashim Shah that, if you have this makes sense to you. Hey, you more than likely chosen, man. Because a lot of people can't get this truth. They want to hear those smooth words. What's that? Isaiah 30 and 9. You can start at 8. Read through about 12. I'll get it. I said I was going to get Genesis 35 and 10 too. But this is Isaiah 30 and... Yeah, I'll start at 8. It says, now go write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever. Making it plain upon tables. That this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord. Talking about those 2/3 Israelite spirits. They're rebellious ever since we came out of Egypt. You had Israelites talking about they want to go back to Egypt because they had meat. After smiting Egypt with 10 plagues, they wanted to worship a golden calf. They're rebellious. You tell an Israelite, hey, you're the chosen people of God. They want to say, well, what about the white man? What about the East Indians? Fuck them, man. You have our people scattered amongst them, but as a whole, hey, Esau is the so-called white man. Elam, the so-called East Indians. Moab, the so-called Chinese. Ammon, the so-called Koreans and Japanese. Japheth, the Pacific Islanders, and they're called pygmies in history. The Etruscans, they're also Japhetic. Ishmael, the Arabs, Ethiopians. They fuck them, man. They're heathens. They're not the chosen. You're called to be kings on earth. Let me go back to Deuteronomy 28 real quick. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 1. This is God, imagine the Most High choosing you as a people, right? Deuteronomy 28 and 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy power will set thee on high above all nations. That's what we're called to do, baby. We're called to be the rulers of earth. It's not a bad thing to want to have power if you if you do it justly, you do it according to the law, statutes, and commandments. Because this is what happens when heathens rule over us. The wicked, Esau, Edom. Look how fucked shit is now. You should want this devil to go down. You don't want him in power. You want to see this bitch crumble, man. And you want to rule over him. And give him double of what he gave to us in our past lives. I want to see Esau cry when he loses his... I want to see Esau cry and lose and be a sore loser. And I want to break his spirit. And I can't wait, or I can wait. And I pray for the patience every day. But I'm excited for the day in the kingdom where we get to exercise power over these heathens that have done unjustly to Israel. I'm very excited for that day. You know how exhilarating it is to have dominance over somebody? Especially when you're in the right. Like, dude, if you've ever been wronged before and you avenged, you got your revenge on somebody, dude, it feels so good. It's like that motherfucker got what he had coming to him, and then getting to be the vessel to deliver it to him. Oh man, there's nothing sweeter than I've never gotten in a fight, before the truth. I've never gotten in a fight before, but I used to wrestle, and yeah, it's fun, slamming people's face in the mat when ref wasn't looking or something. Especially if he was known to be a dirty wrestler or something, you just get a House Nelson in and power half his face into the mat. Give him a little, just say sniff the mat a little bit. Dude, it's exhilarating. I can't wait to do that to Esau. We can just, man. Hey, the scriptures say that we're gonna meditate terror on and I'll grab it too. Yeah, Isaiah 33 and 18. Yeah, it says, thine heart shall meditate terror. Where is the scribe? Where is the receiver? Where is he that counted the towers? Yeah, we meditate terror, getting our revenge, man. Going back to, let's go back to the Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, real quick. Verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him. Because we're being afflicted. The Israelites are being afflicted, man. We're making account of, it says, and made no account of his labors. Esau, Edom's labors are deep, bro. All that dark web shit and all their rituals that they do in groves and all that adrenochrome weird shit. Dude, it's gonna be known, and we get to execute that vengeance. How are we gonna get back at these motherfuckers? These pedophiles and murderers and stealers, robbers. Because we're not gonna do what they did to us, all that homosexual shit. Because that's off. We're gonna unleash a holy hell on them, man. I don't know. Peel off their eyebrows. Make them sweat all day. Tear off their eyelids so their sweat drops into their eyes all day. Something, man. I don't know. Hey, that keeps you sane, honestly. Meditating terrors. Because, hey, knowing that one day we get to reward Esau, Edom double. That's a beautiful thing. Let me go back to. See, I didn't even get to the point. Isaiah 30. I'm all over I'm all over the place, but still in the spirit. This is Isaiah 30 and 10. It says, which say to the seers, see not. Talking about the 2/3 of Israel. Which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. Yeah, because that's why 2/3 have to be destroyed. They don't want to hear this truth. Like I said earlier, if you can see it, then hey, you're called, and Lord willing, you're chosen, man. And then they go on to say, get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Because they don't want to hear the truth, man. They don't want to hear about Yahushua, that he was really a so-called black man, and how he was, only sent to the nation of Israel. That's the truth of the scriptures. That's the truth of the Bible. But they don't want to hear it, and they say, no, we want to listen to sweet Jesus. We want to hear smooth things, prophesy deceits. It says, wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, which is Yahushua, because ye despise this word, and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon. So because you despise Yahushua, the true, God sent Son for your salvation, because you deny him and you want to trust in whatever bullshit fucking ideology you trust in, this is what's going to happen. Therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. Yahushua coming back as a thief in the night. And he shall break it as the breaking of the potter's vessel that is broken in pieces. He shall not spare, so that there shall not be found in the bursting of it a shred to take fire from the hearth, or to take water withal out of the pit. Yeah, if you've ever broken a plate, there's tiny bits of shatters that you never see again. You can't even sweep them up. Yeah, it's going on to say, for thus saith the Lord power, the Holy One of Israel, and returning in rest shall ye be saved. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. And ye would not. But ye said, no, for we will flee upon horses. Therefore shall ye flee, and we will ride upon the swift. Therefore shall they that pursue you be swift. 1,000 shall flee at the rebuke of one. At the rebuke of 5 shall ye flee, till ye be left as a beacon upon the top of a mountain, and as an ensign on a hill. Yeah, you think you can outrun the chariots?
It was blatantly obvious.
Oh my gosh.
What was going through your mind?
You think you can outrun these? The answer is no, you can't. You can't. Where was I? Isaiah 30? Yeah. That's a point. Oh yeah, I said I was gonna get Genesis 35 and 10, I think, just to prove that Israel is, the one, of all nations, backing up Revelation 7 and 9. Let's see, Genesis, Slacky, my dog, is whining. This is Genesis 35 and 10. It says, in the Most High Yahweh said unto him, thy name is Jacob. Because, hold on one second. Yeah, because Jacob, that's who the promise was given, from Abraham, get passed down to Isaac, not Ishmael. Ishmael was left out. It was given down to Isaac, and then Isaac gave it to Jacob, and not Esau. Because Esau and Jacob were brothers, but Jacob was the chosen brother, and Esau was the reject. It says, thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, But Israel, or in the Hebrew Yasharallah, which means Prince of the Power, shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. And Yahweh said unto him, I am Yahweh Almighty, be fruitful and multiply. So this commandment that, them Catholics like to preach a lot, which a lot of Jakes are, Israelites are in that Catholic church, which, hey, all you Israelites need to come out of that. Fuck that Catholic shit. It's way off, alright? Catholics say you can pray to saints. That's not scriptural. But what the fuck? Stop. But that commandment, be fruitful and multiply, that was given to Israel. It says a nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. So Israel is one nation, but it's made up of a company of nations. So multiple nations. That's why we bring the 12 tribes sign. This is one nation. What the fuck is going on? Let's see. Let's get a bigger one. Yeah. This is one nation. The Israelites. But they consist of 12 tribes, but each tribe can really be its own nation. That's why it's a nation and a company of nations. Come from Israel. And then, this isn't even including the Israelites that are scattered in other nations. Like a lot of the Southern Italians and Sicilians, they're really Judah. You got a lot of Irish that are Benjamin. And you have 7 times more Irish people that live outside of the island of Ireland than actually in Ireland. That's how you know a lot of the Irish are Jakes. The Philippines, they're under the curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Cambodians, a lot of them are under the curses. The Slavs over there in Eastern Europe, a lot of them are under the curses. I mean, the Nigerians, that's where a lot of the Negroes today, in America come from. But hey, a lot of them are still over there, and have mingled among, the West Africans. But hey, those people are gonna be gathered by those chariots, and again, there's gonna be more and more sightings of these. So with that, Lord willing, this video was edifying and uplifting. Once again, I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Kakodash. Shalom.